Imagine 1920s Chicago. If you were a gangster, you had two big fears: a bullet from a rival, or a knock on the door from the law. But what if the same man was connected to both? On one hand, you have a stern prosecutor fighting for justice in a courtroom. On the other, the very same man arranging flowers for a mobster's lavish funeral. This isn't a movie script. It's the real story of John Jack Sbarbaro. By day, he was an assistant state's attorney, a public servant sworn to uphold the law. But by night, he was a business partner with one of the most notorious gangsters in the city, Dean O'Banion. This story isn't just about one corrupt official. It's a chilling look at how deep the mob's influence reached, twisting the very system designed to stop them. Sbarbaro's story begins not in a courtroom, but in a funeral home. He co-owned the Schofield and Sbarbaro Funeral Home with Dean O'Banion, the feared leader of the North Side Gang. During Prohibition, a gangster's funeral wasn't a quiet affair. It was a massive public spectacle. We're talking solid. Silver caskets worth thousands, extravagant floral arrangements that would fill a city block, and parades of mourners that shut down streets. These events were pure theater, designed to showcase the gang's power and wealth. Sbarbaro and O'Banion's funeral home became the go-to place for these send-offs. More importantly, it became a kind of neutral territory. It was one of the few places where rivals, like Al Capone's South Side crew and O'Banion's North Siders, could meet without bloodshed. And who was the man facilitating these tense gatherings? Jack Sbarbaro, the Undertaker. Now, let's flip the coin and look at his day job. As an assistant state's attorney, Sbarbaro's salary was paid by the taxpayers of Chicago. His duty was to investigate and prosecute criminals, men exactly like his business partner, Dean O'Banion. The irony is staggering. Instead of building a case against him, he was splitting profits with him. Nothing captures this conflict better than the attempted hit on Johnny Torrio, Al Capone's boss. After being riddled with bullets, Torrio was recovering in the hospital. Who gets sent to his bedside to take a statement? None other than Jack Sbarbaro. Everyone in the city knew that his partner, O'Banion, had likely ordered the assassination attempt. So, Sbarbaro goes in, notebook in hand, to interrogate the man his partner just tried to kill. But Torrio, following the mob's code of silence, omerta, refused to name his attacker. You can just imagine Sbarbaro breathing a huge sigh of relief. His loyalty was never truly tested. Everything changed in 1924. Dean O'Banion was gunned down in his own flower shop, which was connected to the funeral home. This was a direct hit ordered by Capone and Torrio. So, what did Jack Sbarbaro, the assistant state's attorney, do? Did he launch a full-scale investigation to find his partner's killers? No. He put on his Undertaker hat and arranged the most spectacular gangster funeral Chicago had ever seen. Over 10,000 people flooded the streets. And who was there, paying their respects? Al Capone and Johnny Torrio, the very men who had ordered the murder. Sbarbaro was right there in the middle of it all, presiding over the funeral of the man his other associates had just killed. O'Banion's death shattered the fragile peace between the gangs, kicking off the infamous and bloody beer wars that would paint Chicago's streets red. So what happened to Sbarbaro in the end? Most of his associates from that era ended up dead or in Alcatraz. But not him. Jack Sbarbaro didn't go to prison. He got a promotion. He climbed the ladder of the very justice system he had compromised, eventually becoming a respected superior court judge. It's a classic case of the white-collar accomplice walking away clean. While the street soldiers fall, he quietly sold his share in the funeral business, effectively burying his past along with the gangsters he once served. He washed his hands of the whole affair and lived out his days as a pillar of the legal community. Sbarbaro's career is a stark reminder of the deep-seated corruption that plagued Prohibition era America, where the lines between lawman and lawbreaker were not just blurred. They were often erased completely. Was he just a shrewd businessman surviving in a violent world? Or the ultimate symbol of a broken system? You decide. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the archives of crime, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories you won't find in the history books. Thanks for watching.